morning, Miss Puji. Good morning, everyone. So, in this time, we will explore the fascinating topic of language contact, how language influence each other through interaction. Language contact happens when speakers of different language meet and exchange linguistic elements, shaping the way they communicate. And I'm Relita Sihite, and I am excited to take you through this topic. To start, let's define language contact. It occurs when speakers of different language or dialect interact, leading to influences of vocabulary, grammar, and even pronunciation. Why is this important? Language contact is a key driver of cultural exchange and also evolution. For example, globalization, migration, and historical events like colonization have played a massive role in this process. Throughout this presentation, I will explain how language contact manifests in borrowing, code switching, and the formation of pidgin and crows. And let's move to the next slide. How about theoretical background? Now let's look at the theoretical foundation of language contact. First, we have borrowing, where words or structures are adopted from another language, such as how English borrow cafe from French. Next, code switching. This is when speaker alternative between language within a conversation. So lastly, we will explore pidgins and crows, which arise when people with no shared language develop simply or fully developed language for communication. And researchers like Thomason and Kaufman, they have analyzed the mechanism of contact, while Myers-Scotton provide models for understanding code switching. And the next slide, analysis and case study. The next, how about borrowing? One common outcome of language contact is borrowing. For example, English has borrowed words like rendezvous from French and tacho from Spanish. Borrowing not only arranges a language vocabulary, but also reflects cultural exchange. However, borrowing can sometimes signify historical power dynamic, such as during colonization, when dominant language imposed their influence on others. The next slide is analysis code switching. Code switching is another fascinating phenomenon. Here's an example. I was walking to the tienda or store when I saw him. This switching happens for several reasons. It can be used to emphasize a point, adapt to a social situation, or signal identity. For example, bilingual individuals often code switch to connect with others in the shared linguistic community. For example, code switching between Indonesia and English. Code switching also happens when bilingual or multilingual speakers switch between language, in this case between Indonesia and English, within a single conversation or even a sentence. For example, saya sudah selesai, but I need to check my email. I'm done, but I need to check my email. The speaker's alternative between Indonesia, saya sudah selesai, and English, but I need to check my email. So, a common practice in bilingual communities, especially in urban areas or professional settings. Alright, next to the moves, like how about analysis pidgins and crows. Pidgins and crows are unique language. They appear when people from different language backgrounds need to communicate. They show how humans adapt their language to meet social and practical needs. So, what is a pidgin? A pidgin is a simple language created for basic communication. It has a small vocabulary, simple grammar, and non-native speakers. Pidgin are often used for trade or work. For example, job fishing in Papua New Guinea start fishing based on English to help people communicate during trade. In Indonesia, Pasar Melayu was used by trades. A sentence might be, saya jual barang murah, lu beli ini. For the translate, I sell cheap goods, you buy this. So, pidgins are practical and direct. They help people from different backgrounds communicate quickly. So, how about Creole? Creole is a language that grows from a pidgin. Over time, it becomes more complex and has native speakers. It includes more grammar rules and vocabulary. For example, in Indonesia, Ambon, beta sumakan, I have already eaten. And the next one, dong pigi pasar, they went to market. It started as a trade pidgin and became a full language in Ambon. So how about Betawi language? For example, gue lagi makan di rumah. For the translate, I'm eating at home. Dia ke pasar tadi. He or she went to the market. So this scroll from in Jakarta influenced by Malay, Dutch, and local language. Alright, I have other example in Indonesia, Melayu, Manado, in North Sulawesi. Ngana sumakan? Have you eaten? And the next, kita mau pergi sana. We are going there. How about Papua language? Saya punya barang ada di sana. My belongings are over there. The next one is, kamu datang kapan? When did you come? Okay. Why are pidgin and creoles important? Pidgin and creoles are more than communication tools. They show how people mix language and cultures. In Indonesia, pidgin like Melayu help trades connect and share ideas. And creoles like Melayu Ambon and Bahasa Betawi reflect the history and identity of their speaker. Alright, we have to know that language contact is significant in sociolinguistics because it helps us understand how language develop, change, and also adapt in multilingual societies. It also highlights how societal factors influence language use in everyday life. And please don't forget about language contact. There are borrowing words or grammar, creating new language like pidgin and creoles, and the next, code switching. Code switching, we have to remember that code switching where people switch between language in the same conversation. Okay, right then. Conclusion. In conclusion, language contact is a transformative force that not only shapes the structure of individual language, but also foster the creation of entirely new linguistic system, from borrowing words and code switching to the development of pidgin and creoles. The interaction between language reflects deeper cultural, historical, and social dynamic. And in Indonesia, the effect of language contact are particularly evident due to its history as a hub for trade, migration, and colonization. For example, the emergence of Melayu Ambon and Bahasa Betawi highlight how communities adapt linguistically to their changing environments. So, these languages are not merely tools for communication, they are carriers of identity, history, and cultural exchange. Okay, for the last, studying language contact provides valuable insight into the ways communities negotiated their linguistic boundaries. It refers how people creatively adapt their language. So, this ongoing process is a statement to the dynamic and ever-evolving nature of human communities. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.